Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Today's session is going to talk specifically about integration with Intacct using Scribe Online. My name is Lynn Harrington. I'm a director here at Scribe Software, and I'm joined by Josh Solomon, who's a technical evangelist with Scribe. Josh is going to be doing the important work of demonstrating what we have for you to see today. So the theme of today's session is time is money, and we'll talk about how important that is. Okay, some housekeeping items before we get started. We use On24 as our webinar platform. So for those of you that have not used On24 yet, I just wanted to point out a couple of things that I think you'll find very useful. First of all, there will be a recording made of this, and it will be available to you after the webinar. You should see at the bottom of your screen several icons. If you need to adjust the sound or you want to pause or forward this presentation when you're viewing it later, you will want to use the media player icon. If you want to participate in the Q&A, and we do have a live person monitoring Q&A, so feel free to do so, just click on the Q&A button, and then you'll see the file folder there, and that's the resources folder. We will include a download copy of the slide deck, and then if we have other resources such as case studies and things like that, that will be included there as well. So again, we are monitoring this through a Q&A chat, so feel free to ask questions at any time during the presentation, and then you'll also have a couple of minutes at the end of the presentation as well. So today's agenda is going to focus certainly on the benefits of integration, why as an Intacct partner or customer, why you would choose Scribe versus other options that are available to you. Then we're going to talk specifically about Scribe Online and what we call the Intacct connector, and that's where Josh will take over and do the demonstration. We're just going to highlight again the benefits for Intacct customers of using Scribe for integrating Intacct to lots of different applications and data sources. And then we'll just highlight the additional resources available. So let's just start at the very beginning. Some of you on the presentation here may be thinking, is it really worth the investment of integrating my Intacct application? And we really categorize the benefits of integration into four main categories. One is definitely about saving time and being more efficient, and really our first two bullets are about that. It's that the reality of it, what we find out there is a lot of businesses are still doing a lot of duplicate data entry. So eliminating that time, automating repetitive tasks, both of those scenarios allow you to free up resources and redeploy those resources on much more valuable activities and tasks that can benefit your organization through other types of innovative or high-value results. So it's not just about saving the time of the data entry and repetitive tasks, but it's about how you redeploy those resources and what your business can really realize from redeploying those people. It allows you to keep best-of-breed systems in place. There's a lot going on today where there's definitely a push, and customers are thinking about minimizing, the need for integration by going with applications where it's an all-in-one scenario. But what a lot of customers will tell me is when they look at these all-in-one scenarios, they just are not best of breed in the majority of the components. They may be strong in one area but not others. So this really allows you to go with a best of breed. And again, it's about thinking through the real valuable benefits to your organization by sticking with a best of breed approach. And then the fourth is in reducing human error. Human error, anytime there's a human involved, it really does open up to error, and errors cause inconsistencies in your business, which cost money. And so certainly reducing human error is a way to save costs within your organization. So you may be saying, okay, I understand and I'm bought in. I think integration to Intacct would be highly beneficial to my organization. Why should I choose Scribe when there's certainly other options out there? And there is an array of options. There are some scenarios where there's a native integration available even from Intacct, for instance, between Intacct and Salesforce. And there's other native integrations offered by other third parties, and then there's lots of ways that you could write your own integration, let's say. So why does somebody choose Scribe versus those other options? Well, probably the number one that I'd like to address is the native integration, in particular with Salesforce, or there's some third parties that have Dynamics CRM to Intacct integration. And the big reason that we have customers and partners come to us is because oftentimes these native integrations are written in a way that there is very limited configuration, especially around workflow requirements. And we all know that the way that organizations really gain competitive advantage is by having very unique workflows that support their organization and give them an edge over their competitors. And so to be able to deploy an integration in a way that supports your workflow is key. If you're working with native integrations, oftentimes the customization or configuration would require a lot of coding. And now you have to go in and continually enhance that and upgrade that anytime there are maybe upgrades of either application involved, or the next time you need to make changes to support your workflows. And so it becomes a scenario where, let's say you just want customer sync to start with for your integration. You don't want the whole integration out of the box. Now it's a very expensive investment just to sync customers. So Scribe, as you'll see when Josh moves into the demonstration, gives you a lot of flexibility so that you can build something that meets your workflow requirements without any coding. The second area is around unique data models, very similar to workflows. The data model, in particular, when you're integrating Intacct to other systems oftentimes, let's say it's a CRM system, or it may be a marketing automation system, and you want to get some customer purchase history into that marketing automation system. They have unique data models, and it's something that's not supported by native integration, or it's something that you really need to be able to be very dynamic. It's something that may change on a regular basis, and so hard coding something just becomes costly, not only for the initial implementation, but in particular to maintain. We mentioned here the automation of repetitive tasks. So there's definitely a lot of customers out there that I've spoken to, Intacct customers, that load, let's say, Excel files on a weekly basis. That is something that you could really just automate, and that's what a lot of customers will use Scribe for. They can just have that Excel file drop to a folder someplace. Scribe can pick it up, transform the data, load it into Intacct. It all happens automatically. And then the need to integrate to lots of other systems and data sources. So oftentimes a native integration is very much a point-to-point solution. So someone may purchase the Intacct Salesforce integration from Intacct, but that's all that it does, which is fine. It does that very well, but that's all that it does. It may be that you need to integrate with Salesforce, but you also need to integrate with ConnectWise or ServiceMax or whatever you're using for your service component. But you also have other inventory systems, or as we mentioned earlier, other data sources such as Excel or text files that you're getting on an incoming basis, and you have that flexibility with Scribe. So what are the key benefits of Scribe? First is around flexibility, and again, we sort of take the approach that companies are unique, that your workflows, your data models are all going to be unique, and you need to be able to set up an integration that supports you specifically and gives you the ability to be dynamic in the future so that it can be easily modified. Ease of use, it really is a user interface that enables the data and sharing of data and integration of data to be in the hands of a technologist, not a developer. And when I say a technologist, it could even be a business analyst. So people that are very close to the processes and the data can really set these up. There's a lot of features around collaboration. So it may be that you are working with an Intacct partner if you're an Intacct customer, or if you're an Intacct partner joining us, you have multiple customers. You have the ability to view and work with customers in a very unique situation where you're invited in. You can support them as needed, or if you're a customer, you can invite in your partner if you're having a particular challenge or you want to engage them on a particular new integration that you're deploying. And then when that collaboration is complete, you can uninvite them, and now you're back to just your own control over your integration scenario. And then the fourth area is around connectivity. So using Scribe Online and investment in Scribe Online really enables you to use it for more than just a point-to-point integration. You really can use it with Intacct or with other applications that you have within your organization. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Josh to, again, the moment you've all been waiting for, and that's the demonstration. And there you go, Josh.
All right, thank you, Lynn. All right, so let's very quickly switch over to our Scribe Online environment. We should all be familiar with this. This is my sandbox environment. For those of you who develop your own connectors, you also have a sandbox environment. And I have the latest Intacct installed here. We can see if we go to the marketplace, we have our Intacct connector from Massey Consulting installed, and it is free. So it doesn't cost you anything extra above your Scribe Online row usage. And once you install Intacct as a connector, it becomes available to you as a connection type. And you can see that I already have one built in here, but we'll take a look at the drop down and we'll see that it's here. And in just a few seconds, this screen will show us the information that we need to connect to Intacct, and that will be including the URL for Intacct, your unique Intacct company ID, username, password, and then API access requires that we have a sender ID and a sender password. Again, that's something that's available through your Intacct subscription. And location ID is optional. So you fill in all that information and you have access to your Intacct organization. And you can see that I also have a CRM connection here. Now, those of you familiar with Scribe also are familiar with our reset metadata function, and I just wanted to highlight that. That's one of the things that Lynn just spoke about was all of our connectors that we certify actually look for custom data. So if a developer or a business analyst has customized your Intacct system with custom tables or custom fields, or your CRM system with custom tables and fields, resetting the metadata allows Scribe Online to go out and get that customized set of data, which is important when creating a solution with Scribe Online, that you have access to those flexible fields. So here I have a solution that's already put together. Again, this solution is provided by Massey Consulting to go along with their Intacct connector. And they have already predefined a set of maps that synchronize accounts, contacts, orders, invoices, inventory, quotes. We are providing you with a predefined solution, and this is where, again, if you have a distinct workflow for your sales orders and your invoices, Scribe gives you the flexibility to go in here and change that workflow. You can come in here and you can customize individual fields and the field level validations that go with your particular workflow. You can see that there's some customizations in there. So that's part of the flexibility is the ability to recognize custom fields and tables in your environment and to modify your systems. So when we look at the available items within Intacct, Again, if you're familiar with our UI, you'll know that you have to choose the entity that you want to work with each one of the control blocks. And here we've got our Intacct connection, and we see all of the entities. And all of these entities are available both as source and target operations. You see billing, customer contact, expenses, purchase orders, invoices, general ledger, sales orders, timesheets, etc. So all of that information is available for you to work with. We do have predefined solutions here. And you can schedule it. You can schedule it to run on demand. We can schedule it to run all the way down to every minute. Now, to give you a quick demonstration of how quickly these things work, what we're going to do is we're going to go into my Intacct system, and we see that I have a company here called Allen Industries. I'm going to drill into this company, and I'm going to add some information to it. Let's say we're going to add a fax number to this company, and we'd like the information to be synchronized with CRM. So I'm going to save that. And again, going back to the Scribe Online, you can have it running on a periodic basis, or you can have it running on demand. I have it running on demand for demonstration purposes. I'm now going to run that Intacct solution, and the updates to that customer are going to move into my CRM system. I'll come over to my CRM system, and we can see that we don't currently have an Allen Industries in my CRM system. So it is working its way through that solution. We can see that it's actually moving, and in just a few seconds it will show up here in CRM. And here it is. Allen Industries has shown up very quickly here, and if I drill into that, we can see that my fax number and Allen Industries is a new customer within my CRM system. And again, this is a two-way integration along with a starter pack that provides that integration, and you have the ability, as Lynn mentioned earlier, to turn certain things on and off. In this scenario, I'm in that very first scenario, that startup scenario where we're synchronizing accounts and customers, and we're not ready yet to synchronize quotes and orders and products. But when I am, I simply turn them on, I turn on my synchronizations, and I'm ready to go. So I'm fully customizable. At the same time, I already have a pre-built solution that I don't have to customize if I don't need to. And so that's our Intacct connector. And so let's go back and let's take a look at what Intacct connector currently supports. The latest version of the Intacct connector supports, again, like I said earlier, both as source and target, all of the available entities you see on the screen: customers, vendors, contacts, inventory, order, purchase orders, accounts receivables, general ledger, accounts payable, employee information, and projects. So it's pretty much everything that you need to get started with a CRM to ERP to Intacct, specifically ERP solution, and moving forward with your clients. Okay.
Great. Thanks, Josh. You probably picked up on the fact that Josh mentioned a couple times Massey Consulting. So when we talk about connectivity at Scribe, there's lots of connectors that Scribe develops and makes available on the marketplace, but lots of connectors have also been developed by third parties. It might actually be the software vendor, or it could be a third party that's a very strong integration partner within that ecosystem. And we make those available on our marketplace. Some are available for additional fees, but in the case of Intacct, we work with Massey Consulting, and they make that available at no additional charge. So that's the reason for the reference to Massey Consulting. Okay, so just to reiterate, again, the benefits if you're a customer, or the benefits that you would want to talk about if you're an Intacct partner, it's really about that flexibility. I think you saw from the user interface the ability to very quickly adapt what we call the starter pack for, let's say, Intacct Dynamics CRM integration, the ability to really adapt that. You also saw the user interface, so there probably will be lots of situations out there where we won't have a starter pack. Okay, you'll have to start from scratch doing that mapping and building that workflow. But as you can see, it's all a point-and-click environment, so you can do that pretty quickly. For those, again, that are partners, please note that if you do build something that we don't have a starter pack for, but you have a couple of other customers that can benefit from that, you're able to export that template and then import it into a new customer's scenario with that connection screen coming up so that you can put in their specific connection information. So that really gives you flexibility and ease of use to use something that you've built for one customer across multiple customers as well. So I talked about ease of use, collaboration, so the ability for partners to really support and manage multiple implementations, and then connectivity. And the connectivity is continuing to grow. We add both to our technology, our standard technology connectors, as well as our application connectors. We probably add anywhere from 2 to 4 connectors a quarter, so it continues to expand. And just wanted to include this slide, which really gives you a comprehensive view of all of the connectivity that we have as of today, as we were recording this particular webinar. And again, we certainly continue to add to these. It grows at a number of about 2 to 4 per quarter. And I just want to highlight down below in the right-hand corner the technology connectors, of which we continue to build out those as well. So if we don't have an application connector here, it may be that you can use one of those technology connectors to build the integration with. Okay, so some next steps. Certainly feel free to send this recording along to others within your organization who may need to understand how Scribe works with Intacct. Feel free to download certainly the resources and take a closer look at this. And then email sales@scribesoft.com. We can put you in touch with the appropriate salesperson who can answer any additional questions that you have. I know one question that came in over the chat, and I decided to save it and talk about it live, is some questions around how we price Scribe Online. And it is a subscription, a monthly subscription fee that you can pay either on a monthly basis or you could pay a year in advance if you so choose. And it is based on row usage, or think of it as almost record usage. And so that's the number of records that would be processed over a year. Our entry tier is at $279. And we've seen some Intacct customers, especially if they integrated to multiple systems, maybe range up to $550 per month. So I think that gives you a good range, but certainly you'd want to contact your Scribe salesperson, or if you're working with an Intacct partner who's a Scribe partner, contact them and they will help you calculate what your annual usage would be, and then they can get you into the right pricing tier.
We'll now leave the Q&A open for a few minutes, so please submit questions if you have them, and we will answer them through chat. And thank you again for joining us today.